the impact of the Kronstadt Rebellion on the Soviet Union. If you're curious about how the Kronstadt Rebellion affected the Soviet Union, let's take a closer look at this significant event in Soviet history. The Kronstadt Rebellion, which took place in March 1921, was a pivotal moment that shook the foundations of the Soviet government. The rebellion was led by sailors from the Kronstadt naval base, who were once hailed as heroes of the Russian Revolution. However, by 1921, they were deeply disillusioned with the Bolshevik government. The rebels demanded several key reforms, including the reduction of Bolshevik power, the election of new Soviets that included socialist and anarchist groups, economic freedom for peasants and workers, and the restoration of civil rights for the working class. These demands were seen as a threat to the centralized power of the Bolsheviks, who viewed them as semi-anarchist and petty bourgeois. The Bolshevik response was swift and severe. Leon Trotsky issued an ultimatum demanding the rebels' unconditional surrender, and when this was not met, the Red Army launched a series of assaults on Kronstadt. The rebellion was brutally suppressed by March 18, 1921, resulting in significant casualties on both sides. Estimates suggest that up to 10,000 Bolsheviks were killed, wounded, or missing, and among the rebels, around 600 were killed, 1,000 wounded, and 2,500 imprisoned. Despite the suppression of the rebellion, it had a profound impact on Soviet policy. The crisis highlighted the widespread discontent among peasants and workers with the Bolsheviks' war communism policy, which involved forced grain requisitions. In response to this unrest, Lenin announced the new economic policy, NEP, during the 10th Party Congress, which replaced forced requisitions with a tax in kind. This allowed peasants to sell their surplus produce, significantly easing peasant discontent and helping the Bolsheviks consolidate their power. The rebellion also led to a tightening of political control within the Soviet Union. Lenin used the rebellion as a pretext to consolidate Bolshevik power and suppress opposition. Dissidents were expelled from the party, and oppositional leftist parties were repressed. The workers' opposition was condemned, and plans for a more democratic and decentralized governance were scrapped. In the aftermath, the Bolsheviks took harsh measures against the rebels. Many were executed, imprisoned, or sent to forced labor camps. Those who escaped to Finland were placed in refugee camps, and attempts to return to the Soviet Union often ended in arrest and imprisonment. In summary, the Kronstadt Rebellion accelerated the implementation of the new economic policy, led to the consolidation of Bolshevik power, and resulted in the suppression of political opposition. It marked a significant turning point in Soviet history, highlighting the tensions between the government and the people, and the authoritarian measures the Bolsheviks were willing to take to maintain control.